Take this opportunity. Welcome everybody back to the Independent Investor Channel live stream Friday evening. It's been a couple weeks removed anyway. I've been on a well-deserved vacation, man. It was really good for me to re-rack, reprioritize, spend some quality time with the family. But this is the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. Absolutely. At least it is for me. I love this project. I really do. I love the project insofar as the impact we could potentially make on people's lives and identifying opportunity out there. Just think about this 10 years ago. I don't think this would have been as possible to get a unique perspective and testimonial from somebody like myself who's made investing a priority. And the topic tonight does indeed strike at answering some of those rhetorical questions I had in preparing this for people in really understanding why more people don't invest, why more people don't deploy a little bit of discipline, why people are entering into retirement later on in life and they don't have at least some level of supplement to their income. And I'm a realistic applicator. I would never waste my time and come onto YouTube and just blah, blah, blah about stocks and whoopty freaking do. I don't think any of that squat matters. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever the freak. That's a waste of time. What isn't a waste of time is really earmarking the reality of that very thing. People not taking the time to learn up on this, making investing a priority in their life. This is an infinite topic. So there's an absolute reason why somebody like myself is super important to come on and foot stomp this message. I wish there were more. There's a lot of community members in here. I just got a message today thanking me, giving me a status update. It was a 6-figure portfolio from Michael Babcock, very devout subscriber. So shout out to Michael right at the top of the live stream. And I said, these were those little milestones that you could come in and say, hey, Ryan, this is where I'm at. This is real progress. And it's really incredible to know that those results in the market are scalable. And I think, unfortunately, with the level of distraction that's available now, I honestly think that retail investors have not only an incredible opportunity, but they do face a number of challenges, unfortunately, because media right now, with social media right in your face all the time, provides a lot of distraction for people, man. And I think it requires a lot of people to deploy some real active discipline. And I wish more people had it. I think I would be a lot more encouraged if in my day-to-day operations, people that I work with, colleagues, etc., friends, family, took a little bit more of a concerted effort. And I don't know if the flip side of people are like, you're too into this. You pay too much attention. You talk too much about the stock market, you freaking dork. Let it go. I beg to differ. I've always been a collector in my life. I've always collected things, and it's just made sense to me just for the sheer hobby of it. And it's as good a thing as any to spend your time and devote to a certain craft. And I think that's part of the essence of what makes me tick, is that this investing angle that I take really does take a nice chunk of my time. I just enjoy the heck out of it. And furthermore, I enjoy it for my own application. I sat and watched the last 45 minutes or so of the market today. Thought really we had an outsider's chance of making a very, very nice threshold in my investing career. And I will cry when I make it. If you guys understood a little bit about where I come from, how hard I've worked, how much adversity I've gone through to get where it is that I'm at right now. And that's why I think maybe some of that adversity is part of the recipe for success, in that if you're challenged in life, it makes you react and it makes you stand up and fight sometimes. And maybe that lack of fight or complacency that I see sometimes is a recipe, I think, for regret sometimes for people when they look to reflect back on their life and say, have I done everything that I possibly can? And I think that's what investing can be for a lot of people. I know that that's what it is for me. And the essence of how do we get to that end? How do we get people to really understand that stock market investing isn't about picking that perfect stock. It's not about following the masses into Bitcoin in the 50,000s just because everybody on social media is pushing it. Following an Elon Musk into a currency that you know in your mind doesn't make sense to you. And trust me, guys, there's people out there that have made it make sense to them and they've justified it in their head that it's something good. But one of my golden rules that I'm going to talk about tonight in really unfuking your thought process a little bit. And I don't mean that to be rude, but what I mean that to be is just an opportunity for you to sit back and think, what have been the influences in my life that have got me to this point right now? Okay. How have I done? What are the successes? You bet, right? We're all winners. All right. Life is good. Got all kinds of time. Okay, lots of people say we don't have any time. It's going so fast. I'm so stressed. I'm this. I'm that. I got all this going on. Blah blah blah. It's all good. It's all good, baby. Just need to take some perspective on this deal, and you need to take it in small chunks. Okay, I've been doing this a long, long time. I've been doing this going on 30 years. I was introduced to the stock market when I was about 15 years old. So I eat, breathe, and sleep this stuff from a certain perspective. Now, does that mean I'm a day trader? No, it doesn't. My application right now has been somewhat passive, and I'll go through stretches in my investing, and I'll go for months where I won't make a whole lot of moves. I do run a private Facebook or WhatsApp group, and I share my moves when I make them in that WhatsApp group. It's part of what you can find for direct connection to myself, that of which I've digressed a lot from the direct connection outside of the live stream that I provide on the independentinvestorgroup.com. That's powered through Shopify. I just did within the month my very first M1 experience. And that was just absolutely fantastic, life-changing for the individual. But on the Independent Investor channel, we've got some things coming up. It'll be my second interview opportunity. We're looking to get a date and a time, probably the weekend, first weekend in June here coming up for my second interview of Lior Gantz, which was one of my favorite interviews. Just one of those nuggets and gems on the channel that, man, it's just a pleasure to know the guy is really just a pulse and a brilliant investing mind. So looking forward to that coming in the future. The half price on the independentinvestorgroup.com. If you go to the Facebook or the homepage of YouTube, you can link over to the Shopify site. I've got that linked over, so it's easy for you to check out the private group that we have going on. It's fantastic. I really enjoy the group, but I give those real-time moves that I made. I'll give you just a little bit of insight to that, added a little bit into the cues this week. I did open up a new speculative position in Wish. It's a rather small position, but I like the action on it here. Obviously, my position in Hyliion with the last quarter that came out, very, very bullish on that going into the coming 2022, 2023. I've seen some comments here that I'll get to in the thread, but I just want to welcome everybody. Man, it's good to be back. It's amazing what a little bit of moonshine will do for you. Some Tennessee moonshine and some good microbrew and some good time with the family. Some fantastic times there in Sevierville. I highly recommend, if you are in the vicinity of the Gatlinburg area, Pigeon Forge, very cool place to visit. We just had an absolute blast. But I've got a jam-packed hour, guys. Let's jump into it here, and we will kick off the live stream. So it's great to see all the familiar faces, and it's glad to be back in the hot chair. Kenny says, "What's up from Portland, Oregon, man?" Now you're talking. That's Oregon's home for me. I haven't been back there in 20 years, but it's great to see you, Kenny. Shout out, man. It's great to see that you're representing from my home state. I do miss it. I like Virginia a lot, but I miss Oregon too. And I've got Becky in the house. Great to see you. Absolutely. Look at that smile. Just makes me smile. The vacation helped too, Becky. Trust me. I was a little bit overdue. And I think for anybody out there that's working a professional life, YouTube is not really that big of a deal for me. I enjoy making content when I do. But my professional life, that's a little bit of a grind, and sometimes it's incumbent upon me to identify that 6, 8 months where I need a break. And coming off of last year, it was awful tough. So I do have the portfolio reviews. We never made our $500,000 threshold today. I was curious to see if we had an outsider shot of making it. But when I roll out the portfolio reviews for you guys, I can show you kind of how things shook out. I only mention that really to provide some validation. Again, I'm very, very cautious about making sure that the people who join the message, and this will go on legacy on YouTube forever, even after I'm gone. So people will come on and they'll sit and they'll study my fundamentals for approaching wealth building and how unique it is. I don't think it's so unique, but I think a lot of people look at how I apply and they say, how in the hell does this guy do this? And I contend that the mental edge that you have to have is the key. I think a lot of people are their own worst enemy when it comes to the desire to build financial security. And I think a lot of people will be quick to say, yeah, that would be nice, but they don't want to take the first step required in the right direction to start to take those introductory steps to do what you need to do to get some capital introduced to the market, identify those accounts that are going to work for you. There's only a few, okay? But to take those initial steps to do. Now, anybody can start a Robinhood account. Anybody can start a Roth IRA. And quite frankly, I think anybody can come up with a few $100s of starting capital. But these 8 items right here are the things that I really think are what separates those investors that will end up succeeding to some capacity, right? If your expectations are perfection in stock market investing, you found the wrong place. I don't speak along those lines. I don't deliver a message that promises riches overnight. I certainly don't, nor do I think that that's healthy for people. I want you to think about that for a second. People are bestowed upon wealth all at the same time, and they're not prepared mentally to accept that wealth. They'll end up losing it. And it doesn't matter about the money, it's relative. Okay. So, the first thing I want to mention for you guys, and if you want to get a pen and a paper, you want to play it back, or you want to just ignore this piece altogether, the whole intro is meant to get your attention. Live below your means. And as cliche as that sounds, in the United States of America especially, it's really, really difficult to do. We're all guilty of always kind of paying attention to what the next door neighbor has or what our friends say that they're doing. And trust me, I take a lot of, I put a lot of things that I want on the shelf. And I observe a lot of my colleagues, man, and they're great, great people. And I don't mean to single anybody out. Because there's a lot of people out there that absolutely are that they have the ability to enjoy some luxury in their life, but then there's others that really do stretch their capability or their capacity to accept that wealth too early, and it takes away from what you could potentially have in the future. So if you really look at living below your means, and the quicker you can get this lesson, the better off, because I find people all the time, especially in my profession, where they rotate out and they've done a nice 20, 25, even a 30-day career, 30-year career, and they all say the same thing. I wish I would have known now what I knew, what I knew, what I know now. I wish I would have deployed earlier on in my life. It's super important to understand that key lesson. And I think a lot of people, when they win that job, it's great. Start making some money and they start to fall into some habits of some things that they've thought that they've wanted for a long, long time. New car, fall into a nice mortgage, right? Start buying some amenities, start accumulating stuff. This is what society says that we need to do. Now, what happens when we promote? Okay. What we typically do is we will up our spending habits to match that level of income. Now, the older that we get, we never really digress and we never really stop seeking that spending discipline, right? We always just up our spending habits as the income increases. And I think the greater the separation you can draw between being satisfied at a level that is conducive to your means, and I'm not saying eat farver beans all the time, but ask yourself, and how much do you need? And for you guys that come onto the channel and you're like, I don't like this guy. This guy's telling me that I can't buy crap. I'm not your dad. You want to go buy crap? Go buy crap. But don't come to me later on in life and say, man alive, I sure do regret that. I wanted my cake and eat it too over the course of my life. Now I want to bitch and complain to somebody instead of looking in the mirror and taking responsibility for my own action. All right? Very, very key to understand. And a lot of people in some capacity or another, some more than others, really, really do get this idea in that they're happy with what they have. Isn't that a novel idea? The second, supplement time with soft dollars. This is a super, super core statement. And anybody out there that doesn't understand what I'm talking about, when you establish assets buckets in your life, like the M1 finance that I roll out all the time, there's a method to my madness as to why I do that. The dividends that are rendered in that off of those dividend payers, I'm approaching about 20,000 bucks in that portfolio. The renderings in there are 50 cents, $1, $2, $2.50, $3, $1.50, $2, $3 here and there. Boom, boom, boom. Always paying. Got about 70 holdings in there. And most every day that goes by, I get a little payment. I fund it up. I'm doing something in there to generate some churn in there. Every penny that, and I'm speaking to the hard workers in the community. I am one of them. I do hold a day job. Okay. I would never rely on YouTube. I don't enjoy it that much to say that I'm going to take care of the rent or put food on the table or pay my kids' dental bill with YouTube earnings. I just got an email right before I went live that they've changed the terms of service on YouTube. Absolutely. It's their right to do that. So all you entrepreneurs out there that think that YouTube is the absolute way to go to riches, hold on a second. I think there's a lot of intangibles to holding down a career. While you're doing that, investing for a lot of people can be the ability to pledge a certain number of dollars to an asset bucket that over time starts to organically create wealth internally for itself. So you're not always getting older year in and year out. You're getting older, and you're spending time for that paycheck. And yes, over time, that paycheck does increase, but eventually your time is going to expire, right? Now, the idea behind establishing those assets buckets is that those assets bucket have the ability to generate churn within them while you're making money, right? Okay, so that's the idea. So for those of you out there that have a really hard time justifying the investing opportunity, retool your thinking and really think about the investing opportunity not to be, hey, if I put these dollars to risk, I'm giving up that 80-inch TV. I'm giving up that ability to go do this and that, or eat pizza every night, or take the family out to a movie every single night, or do this and that, or buy everything I see, or buy a new car every 2 years, right? you start to move away from those rationalizations of what you're missing out of and really start to resonate with the idea that that assets bucket has the ability to really churn and provide you a supplement for the time that you're spending earning hard dollars in your day-to-day job, right? And every little penny that comes in to help supplement your financial health and well-being is a penny stepped in the right direction, okay? Because if you don't have those pennies, you're really missing out, and the clock is ticking. That's why I say that investing is more of a necessity than people will give it credit for. Yeah, I'll get around to it. No, you got to get on that right now. Like, the people that need to be investing are not the rich people out there. They're people like me and you, okay? And I know there's millionaires in my community here. Absolutely. We don't apologize for that type of thing. These people are millionaires for a reason, okay? They've deployed some level of discipline in their life, and they're there, and they don't just give up those disciplines just because they can tell everybody that they're a millionaire. It's not like that. The most the most unobvious places in this country are probably going to be those pockets of wealth that are the least obvious to you. Okay. Those people that are out there flashing the fancy cars, flashing the fancy houses, those are probably the people that on the image seemingly has it all taken care of. But the real wealth is probably something that is a lot less obvious. Number three, need to dare to think differently. When I tell people to take control of their own money, the initial reaction, and I see it in their face, is fear. Fear. I can't do that. That society has told me that I don't have the ability to do that. I'm here to tell you that the absolute tools, the products, the equities, I prefer Vanguard products, okay? But I made a statement on one of my highly on videos that investing in Johnson and Johnson, it doesn't take any capability, and I give some latitude to the amount of minimum intelligence that I expect my audience to look to deploy, okay, if they want to make some level of decisions about their wealth building career. Okay, do I want to be a passive investor? Okay, that's a no-brainer. Anybody can do it. Do I want to be a dividend growth investor? Anybody can do that too. You can do a combination of both, right? Do I have a 401k? Well, there's a no-brainer way of investing. All you have to do is contribute and take your free money match, right? If you're eligible. Okay. So lots of different pockets of opportunity. You just have to kind of identify which ones are going to work for you. But for the independent investor, the niche of my channel, okay, the very way of seeking out that strategic edge of taking control of your own money, eliminating the fees within your account, and then opting for the tax protection within the Roth IRA allows you to accelerate your wealth beyond what any financial planner can sit there and tell you that they're going to make all the difference for you. It just doesn't work that way, okay? And the quicker we can get to this end, this is a forward way of thinking. This is absolutely the niche. And if I didn't have this niche validated for me and coming on and share it, then the channel would cease to exist because, again, there's 500 to 1,000 other financial channels out there that you can tune into, and none of them talk about this stuff. None of them. Okay. It's really where my history and experience going on 30 years of investing kind of comes into play. And hopefully you appreciate me pushing forward that benefit to you guys. Very, very important it's okay to think differently. Don't apologize. Walk around with your head held high because you, in fact, know something that the masses do not. Participate in what makes sense. Okay. Bitcoin. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. I was out. I'm intrigued by it. I've probably done more research than the average bear, but I'm not invested in Bitcoin right now. Does it mean that it's not going to 100,000? I don't know. I don't really care. The whole essence of this lesson is that you don't have to put yourself on a charge to jump on every opportunity that comes along. Okay? You don't need to do that. So calm down. Pick out one or two selective angles. I've given you two, right? I'll manufacture some opportunity for you guys, but you're going to have to eat out of the trough, okay? Passive investing, dividend growth investing. Get your feet wet, okay? Understand how lucrative investing can be, but it does, in fact, involve risk and that your dollars will fluctuate down. And the last thing that I would expect you to do is come on and hate on me because your Johnson and Johnson stock is down $1.50 on any given day. I'm going to tell you to toughen up a little bit. Okay. The lessons that you'll learn from some of that stuff will be invaluable, but don't point fingers at others. Okay. Always hold yourself constructively accountable for the decisions that you've made. And I can justify investing in a company like Johnson and Johnson or Apple or Microsoft every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. Okay. Number 5 is to take setbacks in stride, okay? Expect that when you buy a stock, it's going to go down. Expect that you're going to have situations in your investing career that don't work out as much as you maybe felt like that you wanted them to work out, okay? Like you had a premonition that something was going to happen and oh my goodness, lo and behold, it doesn't work out the way that you think. You need to really get over those barriers because a lot of people use those as excuses to pull out, to withdraw, to change their thesis after 3 days. Thesis has changed. My goodness, the stock's going down, so therefore my thesis has to change, right? And the very essence of stock market investing in putting any level of quantifiable value on 1 day, 1 week, 1 month is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Okay. The only thing that matters, I've been doing the Independent Investor channel for going on 5 years. In the stock market game, 5 years is like the minimum requirement for you to look at an asset and say, VTI right now, market's at 34,000. Can I do it? Don't talk yourself off of that asset next week. Okay. Don't talk yourself off of it next month. It's not going to matter. Set your sights long term and you'll really get the maximum amount of benefit out of your investing opportunity. Okay. Number 6, I put relish the time. Relish the time. Time is beautiful, right? I think back of all the things that I've done in my life, all the challenges, and I think, man, that was a long time ago. And it has been. Life is good. Everybody wants to get caught up in this game that it's going by so fast, or, oh my goodness, I don't have time for that. And that's a bunch of crap. You know what's funny? I run a YouTube channel and I have a full-time job and a full-time family, wife, kids. I'm a father. I'm busy all the time. But you know what I find ironic is I always find time to do this. I always find time to fit in appointments for people who ask me for the time. When you get responses from my YouTube channel, that's me. That's me. Just a regular fella. I don't look at myself as anything special at all. If you reach out to me through the WhatsApp group, the private group that you pay a few dollars for a month, you're getting my specific, unique opinion about whatever it is you're asking for. I always make time, right? And I find it funny how everybody wants to, they never have time. You know, people always are like, man, I don't want to put you out, man. Do you want to get together this weekend? Yeah, I don't have an agenda. Good grief. I don't have a secretary. We're good to go, you know? And so I think to have some perspective on the amount of time that you actually do have to focus on not only this, but other important things. I went and hit the gym tonight. I was crazy, crazy fired up in the gym. Man, I was boxing and I felt good. You got to make time. And furthermore, you got to look forward to enjoying that time. In other words, if you set a schedule and you use your schedule and you just dread the putting appointments on your schedule, think differently. Un-FUK your mental capacity and just mind F yourself into just enjoying those cool things in life, right? It's all good. Okay. None of it is a burden. Okay. Get over yourself a little bit. Set some time aside, like all good does, to fix her cup of joe. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process of making the joe, for crying out loud. And then enjoying the beverage is just the cherry on top, right? Okay. Number 7, don't rely on others. Don't rely on others. Financial planning, that kind of goes into it. Financial planning can be very good for some people. But if you expect that Social Security is going to be enough when you retire, or you're expecting that the government is somehow going to bail you out, or somehow you're going to get a stimulus check for the rest of your life, or somehow forbearance is never going to stop, somehow this and that, the checks and this and the support and that and this and that and this and that, it can really cause some tough habit forming behavior upstairs. And I'm not saying for some people that the support is absolutely necessary. Take it. But anytime that you can motivate yourself to get off of that support and be a self-regulating entity on your own, the better off you will be. Trust me on that, guys. There's going to be two different schools of thought on this. Honestly, man, it's the holding your head held high, knowing that I make mistakes. I F up too. It's totally fine. But man, those successes that I have, I own them because they're mine. They're mine. Okay. They're mine. The last thing, never stop evolving. Okay. Never stop evolving. Investing is one of the most humbling places. I've said this from the inception of the channel, ever since I've been doing this. You want to be an investor? It's easier said than done. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's as easy as tuning into 4 morons who sit on a freaking rocket ship and provide a live stream to you guys every 2 days because they get 100, 200,000 views. Investing is not that easy. Sorry. I'm sorry if I just summed up that in just a very, very quick 20-second stint, but that's not what it's about. If you expect that you're going to render success out of that, I'm here to tell you it ain't going to happen. Investing is a humbling game. It's one that you have to continually evolve at. And if you really want to un-FUK what it is that you've got going on upstairs, because it's got you to the place that we're looking to evaluate this evening, right now, not tomorrow, not the next day, right the hell now. I know, it's like, Jesus, I didn't sign up for this, Ryan. What the hell is this? Right now is what you got to do. You got to call it to action right now. And you've got to really ask yourself, is what I'm doing working? Have I done any of the 8 things on the list that Ryan talked about tonight? Could I do a better job in some of those avenues? Ryan mentioned a few things that, yeah, were pretty cliche, but the way he puts it and explains the deeper meaning of what it is we're trying to deploy here in being independent, taking stock in the decisions that we make, don't relying on others, taking ownership over the decisions that we make, making decisions and putting those action items into work in reality for us, not just blah, 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 blah. I'm going to do this. Boy, oh boy, this Ryan guy, he's really motivating freaking guy. I just want to get up from this live stream and fall into the broker tomorrow and start investing. Show me. Show me. Because in this life, I've seen a lot of people that I've come across in my day-to-day interaction and blah, 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 blah. They got it all freaking figured out. But when it comes right down to the granular, can you put the blah, blah into action? A lot of people disappoint me. They really do. They really do. All right. It's great to be back with you guys. Hope you didn't mind that. Those were the 8 things, man. I know the title of this video was, you know, it was aimed to strike a chord. It really was. But when you start to ask some of those questions, why don't more people invest? Why aren't people retiring wealthy when the opportunity, it's there? Okay. It's not something you have to discover. It's not that something that you have to come upon and get lucky to discover. If you don't identify that an opportunity is there for the taking, this is where I find that the Independent Investor Channel can provide some value to you in telling you that it's there. It's there. All you got to do is reach out and grab it. All right. Let's do some portfolio reviews. Then I'll get to some questions here for the remainder of the live stream, guys. I'm going to go through the review rather quickly if we can. This is the brokerage account here. Added the wish in the speculative category. This really dipped over vacation. I was having a great vacation, but I was down about 20 or so thousand cumulatively over the accounts. The market really got cranky as I was monitoring it while I was on vacation. AT&T, obviously, with their acquisition, I guess, of Discovery and then potential spin-off and reduce some debt. I really haven't looked into the deal, but I'm holding AT&T. That could be problematic, but I don't have a problem holding the investment here in the telecom space. I really don't. But that's how the taxable there, about 85% invest in stocks and about 15% in cash. The Roth IRA here, it is up since the last time I declared this. This is 2 weeks old here, but they are updated as of today as to the holdings. Give you guys some ideas, some of those nuggets. Like, Ryan, what's the greatest stock to invest in right now, man? I don't know, Microsoft. VOO probably would be the answer that I could probably give to the masses, actually, and be right most of the time. Those assets over the years have done nothing but impress me. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are like, yep, I agree with you, Ryan. And I've been foot stomping that opportunity for a long, long time. Market's been conducive to owning VOO. And you might say, well, what do we do in a down market, Ryan? It's very simple in an ETF like that. You just buy more. Very, very simple. Simple application. If you feel like you need a financial planner to tell you the same thing I just told you for free, by all means. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need it. Just buy it and own it. You want to invest 500? Do it. You want to invest 1,000? If that makes sense to you, great. Go do it. All right. And here's Roth 2. 120, I guess, in here, 92% stock. So pretty invested. I bought 10 more shares of Alibaba today. I felt like from a value proposition that really looked good. Salesforce.com is a really good entry right here. No doubt about it. A nice big Dow component, established cloud play, best in breed. CrowdStrike had a nice comeback today. That's a good entry. Large, like the FANG names, have really taken it on the chin with the rotation in value that has been absolutely real. Yep. There's some value propositions out there that have been doing quite well. And that, I would never, ever suggest that value investing is somehow a bad thing. It's easy to sit there and say, oh, this is terrible, man. I'm only making a 3% dividend when all these other stocks are going up 20, 30%. Yeah, well, you take it on the chin and you find out that dividend is awful nice when those high growth stocks are adjusting back on you 10, 20, 30%, right? And you say, well, what is the solution, Ryan? My solution is to own them all. It's to own them all. What can I say? And this is the M1 Finance, the sector portfolio. This is all 11 of the specialty ETFs. This is chugging along quite nicely. This is up here over the last couple of weeks. A little bit passive investing 101 with the strength of M1 Finance on the passive ETF side of the house. And then M1 with the 71, maybe 72. I think I liquidated AbbVie in the Roth, added AbbVie in the healthcare sector here. This is comprised of 10 sectors that I've pieced off minus real estate. And it only has single stock dividend payers. This is an awesome account. It's kick-ass. You guys can really relate with this. If you wanted to start this account with $500, you could do that. And so this is where you don't think that there's opportunity in the market. You come onto the Independent Investor channel. This is why I provide these for you guys. It's not to say, hey, look at me. I've got 18,768,42684.3. That makes little sense to me, and I don't put value in that. I don't. I spend the vast majority of my time paying attention to the structural program and a lot less attention to this is really the cherry on top when I come and declare this to you. You find folks every week where we are in progress. But from a week to week perspective, it really doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot anyway. However, it does validate. And if I'm going to sit across from a YouTuber, you better have some skin in the game. Okay. Don't sit there and talk to me about investing and, hey, my angle is somehow special. If you've been investing in the stock market for a year and a half, sorry, you're not going to win me over. I'm sorry. There's some sound investors out there that fall under that camp. But until you go through a big downturn in the market, that's going to be the show me moment that proves your worth with me. Okay. All right. And I talk about those lines as well for new investors. They need to hear that scary stuff too, right? They don't need to just relate with the vision of being on the rocket ship, the cartoon rocket ship going to the moon with four idiots. All right. $50,000 threshold in the TSP met and surpassed. A milestone that I will impart to you. So I always put nuggets out there during the live stream as we pushed up TSP contribution from 10% to 20% just this week. So I'm very proud of that. Remember how I said always evolving? See, I never get complacent with my application. If you want to take that card and deploy it for yourself, I encourage you to do so. I really do. The calls, I'm not going to get too detailed. I didn't get to update this. I do have leaps on Hyliion, 8 contracts at 12.5 for 2023 and 5 additional contracts with a strike of 10 for January of 2023 as well. So not only do I have the big bullish stock position, but I do have the leaps in Hyliion as well. I've got some small put contracts as well, cash secured puts. I've sold premium on here at 9. I wrote those today. Why not? I sold some stock actually outright, which brought my position down to a nice cool 6,650. So I got a little breathing room there with a swing trade opportunity that I picked up those shares at the optimal entry in the 8s. I didn't get it with a 7 in front of it. Some of you guys probably did, and I applaud that effort. I don't think we'll see it again. That's just me, but that's where we're at. And then the portfolio value there, 497, and like I said, that $500,000 it's a big one to me. It means a lot to me sentimentally. It validates a lot of what I do, a lot of what I teach upon. Which I'll be fine, but I'll be damn if I'm going to come onto a social media opportunity and not acknowledge how important it is that the words that you put out there over the airwaves has the potential to really help people and also hurt people at the same time. I take that responsibility very serious. So there we are, 3,000 shy. I thought about taking out a loan and just throwing it in there. Come on, man. I was $50 away two weeks ago and I never made it. So until I make it, we're not there. So let's cruise in here and cruise up to the thread here and start getting some shout outs here. Again, all good. Yep. It was a great vacation and I recommend each and every one of you guys look into the prospects of visiting the Smoky Mountains. It's a beautiful place. Beautiful. Insofar as it tempted me, I would be tempted if things work out to maybe hold a cabin there someday. It was a lot of fun. Kids had a great time. So Mr. Weber's in the house, man. Yeah, things couldn't be better. I'm refreshed. Hopefully you guys are feeling it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Calm, cool, and collected tonight. Delivering a good message for sure. Yep. And then Chris, he's on vacation. I think he was lending an ear to the live stream. He's just part of the family, just like a lot of people are here. But Chris has been with me for a long time. And this is the real strength outside of the dollars and the hoopla up 20%. And this is the stock that looks good. This is the deeper meaning for me, actually, is the network of fine people like Chris who are part of this community. No doubt about it. All right. And Mr. David, I feel the same about. Absolutely. And yeah, I do feel like a lot of people will benefit if they're willing to receive the message. Who am I? Who am I? Do I have the ability to break through for people? I feel like I do. I feel like I'm doing my purpose. I really do. I'm critical of myself. I am. I know there's people out there that don't like me. It's, I'm getting tougher, that's for sure. And, I would be awful disappointed if I thought that I could have said the right thing or something here or there, or crack a joke here and there to make that difference. When I start thinking along those lines, I start to digress and I start to move away from who I really am. And the good stuff really comes out when I am who I am, and no more, no less. So we'll continue to do just that. Fantastic. He says, I love the title. Me too. It usually doesn't take me long to come up with those, man. It's really meant to strike out a root. David, as well, has been part of the family here, the independent investor community. For you guys that are new to the opportunity here in the live stream, when I say that, you have to understand what I'm talking about when I reference the successes in each and every portfolio, because in some small capacity or large capacity, some of the fundamentals and philosophies that I teach upon through the channel are deployed and succeeded upon. Um, that in some small way is really the validation for me, because like I said, if I'm going to get on here and blah blah hoopla and build up my ego just for the sake of building up my ego, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I'm not. So it's the beauty of the channel, man, for sure. Yeah, Mr. Bob's in the house. Absolutely. Love it, man. It's great to see you, Bob. Love the debt mark. Yep, it was a good deal. 100 over 5 years, relatively small. I thought the big takeaway there was the exposure to that very industry. What a statement, to partner with an actual frac sand company like Detmar. I think there's going to be many more. This is a no-brainer. I came out with a pretty impassioned, highly on video. There's been times throughout the history that, and maybe some people would say, you're a turncoat, Ryan, you suck. You're doing highly on videos. I do that because instinctually, I think that's the stuff that matters right now. I do. I bought the position in Wish because I don't see a whole hell of a lot in the market that I'm really that excited about entering back into. Contribute more? Yeah. Up the DCA? Sure. Contribute a little bit more to the M1 finance accounts? Yeah, that's always there, right? But as far as new opportunities, I'm good. I'm good. I from all the way down the line, from sector to sector, energy and industrials and financials looked really good today. Outside of that, I'm good on this market. I'm just enjoying being an investor, okay? And I've got skin in the game. There's no doubt. But as far as being in sixth gear, I'm not. I'm probably in about second gear. And that's probably being pretty conservative on my application right now. All right. Very cool. Not just demos. No, those were solid orders. I'm not surprised a bit. This company's fabulous. They're doing everything that they need to do to scale up. And you don't scale up a multi-billion-dollar organization overnight. It just doesn't happen that way. They're doing everything right. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be problems. There's going to be churn. There's going to be issues that are turned back, hopefully through the hybrid system and through the Innovation Council. However, I just hope that those are taken in stride, they're taken constructively, and all of this process improvement initiative that they're taking now prior to scale up is just a bullish thesis for me. Like, I look at it, I'm like, yes, this is so good. They're not rushing to market. Diesel did that a couple decades ago, where they turned out a bunch of engines where the engine blocks were compromised because the steel that they got was bad steel, and they didn't have a check and balance to read the grade before the blocks were bored out, and they ended up turning a bunch of blocks out that cracked, and they had to take all those engines back. What a costly mistake. So for an industrial company like this, I want them to do as much diligence as they possibly can before they start turning out product on the line. Very, very important, man. Very cool. And Phenom, absolutely. It's great to see you, and thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your involvement in this community. It always makes me happy to see your kind comments and support, man. It goes a long way with me. It really does. So thank you very much. Very cool. Phenom says, hit the like button. I said that you would probably have some good luck. There's your thumbs up fortune cookie for the evening. If you want to hit the thumbs up, go ahead and do so. That would be lovely, lovely. And here's what it looks like for all you people out there that don't know what it looks like. If you opt for the other option, you know what I think about that. By all means, if it makes you feel good, go ahead, because I don't really care either way. I really don't. It's just good to be back with you guys on the live stream. Absolutely. Let's see what kind of streak we can rebuild again going forward. And Brian's joining us from San Diego, man. The nicest weather in the United States of America, bar none. I remember my time down there in Southern California, man. It's like every single morning you wake up and it's nice. Every day you wake up and it's nice. I'll be at the beach tomorrow though, man, for sure. I'm going to enjoy some beach time tomorrow. We're going early. We're going to stake the umbrella and we're going to have some fun out there. Absolutely. All righty. So very cool. Cruising down the thread here, guys. I really want to try to time this to where I can get some shout outs, man, here. And Sober Trades in a lot of the highly on threads. So shout out to you, my friend. I tried to send some invites out there. If you guys don't notice, man, so in my live stream, I invite people in every Friday, okay? And if nobody comes in, the invite is boom, right there now in the bottom of the thread. It looks like that. Most people opt to sit back and listen to me rant and talk about dry humor and drinking chai tea and fishing in Alaska. Most people opt to do that. However, if you do opt to come on here and rap with me, it adds a little different dynamic to the live stream, and it's an open door policy, man. I've done that for quite some time. I just think a lot of people would just prefer that I run it myself, and I have no problem talking about personal freaking finance for 60 minutes. Fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's great to see you, Sober Trades, and appreciate all your support there. It's very cool, man. He says he's from Canada. That's pretty cool, man. Good evening, Ryan. And the group, absolutely. Bringing the group together. Rebecca says, love Pigeon Forward. Very good. What do you think about Thomas selling 300 shares this morning? That's his prerogative to do that. I don't read too much into it. I don't know what his thought was. I don't know if it was part of a prior agreement. I'd have to look into what that was about. I have no idea. It's okay. Hell, I sold 1,100 shares today because I was entering into the stock in the eights, right? And so I had some blocks of buy share that I was able to buffer, turn out a nice $1,000 bill of profit here, kind of lighten my bag a little bit. I'm collecting the premium on the contracts, right? I don't know. I'm a little neutral on that. I think I would shy a little bit to it sends the wrong message for sure anytime internals are being selling, but I don't know the particulars of the deal. Usually there's something there that could help maybe shed a little light on what was going on there. If I have him on the channel, hell, I'll ask him directly. Yep. Very cool. Financial options with Thumper. What a cool thumbnail, man. Gone for 2 weeks. Glad he's back. I'm glad to be back too. This is a fun project for me. Absolutely. When I step away from YouTube, I do so. I look at emails like that when they change the ad revenue payout on YouTube. You guys think I'm crazy for doing promo videos, honestly, and most of you guys don't watch that. That's fine. I think those projects are not only fun, but they're educational, and I get paid a truckload of money to do that. You might be saying that sucks, Ryan. No, it doesn't. I'm not looking to waste my time either. And the more compensation I can get for my time, the more opportunity I'll have to scale up my message. Okay. I've got things in the back of my mind that I would like to do with regard to, getting my thoughts codified in a good step-to-step course that somebody can take at a low expense. I can't do that unless I feel like I've got the financial backing to do so. Until I get there, I won't do it. And I'm aggressive on those opportunities. They think I'm nuts. I take every opportunity I get. I don't care because I don't rely on ad revenue through YouTube to pay for my time. Those promotional videos, those are the most lucrative things I do. So if you feel like you want to support the channel, some diehards in the community, they don't mind coming on and at least hitting the thumbs up button, saying hello in the comments section. That would be the least of what I ask, because here's the thing. I make nothing for doing the live stream. Nothing. I do it because I want to, and I love you guys. I really do. I really want to see you. For those people out there that sit back and need to be painted a picture for the opportunity in investing, well, I sell out for 60 minutes. Sell out in a good way, in that I deliver the goods, and I deliver the goods on par with some of the best out there. Okay, let's be real. Okay, if you sit back and say, "Man, alive, that really impacted me," we're doing something special. Okay, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to make you think. Okay, very cool. Cruising down, cruising down the thread. Jerry's in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. We've got a heck of a collection of great people in the community over the last couple years. I guess the cool thing would be to say where this channel and project are going to go over the next 5 years. I don't know. Maybe over the next 5 years, I'll break 30,000 subscribers. What do you think? Could it happen? Will it happen? I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to 0 and start over again. Who knows? Maybe everybody will hit the unsubscribe button at the same time. I wouldn't worry 1 second about it, because, again, I don't put food on the table with this. I do it because I want to. Very simple. Eric Weber says, yeah, that's one for you to chew on for a second. Dividend Doggo absolutely says, hi, peeps. Great to see you, my friend. Very cool, very cool. True words of wisdom. I guess so. I have pieced together a lot of what works and what doesn't work. I always am fascinated by the explanations I get for people who do not wealth build. They don't participate in financial markets. There's usually systemic other things going on as well that need work. I always feel like you need to have some stuff taken care of in your life before you look to make sense of the stock market, if that makes sense to you. In other words, I would employ you to have some, be grounded, have some discipline, don't be emotional. Yeah. To succeed in investing takes a few attributes, that of which I think a lot of people have. And where I come in is to identify where in people they have those attributes that they don't think that they have. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Homer says good vibes. Absolutely. It's like Bob Marley in the back of my head. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't put a lot of stock in it, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's been some schools of thought. I was one of the very originals 5 years ago. There wasn't a lot of people doing YouTube, and my channel it has not gone to the moon on a rocket ship, which is fine. I'm incapable of that type of luck anyway. I've had to grind my way in life, so it is totally fine. I'm very proud of this project. 30,000 subscribers strong. I'm proud of it. It's a great project, and it empowers people, and they tell me about it on a daily basis. But yeah, I don't rely on that too much. It is what it is, and I'm happy about that little stipend I get every month. It helps keep the lights on. What can I say? Very cool. Francisca's in the house. Got a couple minutes left. This went fast tonight. Ryan fake sleeping while cashing in is my. Like I said, I never know what this guy's going to do on the live stream. I was sitting here before the live stream. What the hell am I going to talk about? And I was like, man, I've done like 678 of these previous, and I've never flatlined. So I wasn't going to start tonight, and unless I flatline within the next less than 2 minutes. You guys have got another riveting, eye-opening live stream tonight. And at the end of the day, I hope I've earned your time, because I don't look to waste it. I don't look to waste mine. If this project ever becomes dull, stale, not accepted, not wanted, not appreciated, I'll go away. I'll go away, and I'll miss you all. I'll wish you all the best. But I do think we're making a difference. I really do, man. In all honesty, I think we're making a difference. And I'm going to drop the last invite in here because aside from overlapping with the gents who I expect will probably be coming on after me, I will leave the last invite. There it is. It's at the bottom of the thread right now. If you want to pop into the studio with me and talk about anything you want to talk about, I don't know, Hyliion, going to 100, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you're welcome to do that for a few minutes, and then I'll kick over and support the gents for sure. But I got Ryan Giffen in the house here, man. A great friend of the channel who's just killing it. What a great example of somebody to look at and say, wow, you know, entrepreneur, investor, family man. He's got it made. And we don't apologize for success on the Independent Investor channel, do we, Ryan? It's very good. I'm just glad to know this guy, man, for sure. It's always be part of the family here. No doubt about it. All right. Alexandro, Ryan helped a lot with getting that self-directed. You bet, man. At some point, you got to be introduced to that stuff and knowing that that designation exists. Very important, something the institutions really would rather keep under their lid because they're not going to openly advertise. That's where I come in. Glad to help. Yeah, it's changed my life, and hopefully it can change others as well. So we just clicked over. Let's conclude the live stream, guys. Really appreciate you. We're running the half price on the independentinvestorgroup.com. That's independentinvestorgroup.com throughout the summer. And I may keep that as more of a nice entry. We want to promote folks to make their way into the group if that's what they think they'll enjoy and get some value out of. We do have the M1 experience, which I enjoy doing as well. If nothing else, tune into the Independent Investor live stream every Friday, 9 o'clock. Stay tuned for that Lior Gantz interview that's going to be coming up within the next couple weeks or so. That is my personal favorite interview that I've ever done in the history of the channel. No doubt about it. Very, very sharp investing minds. And we're glad to have him on the channel as a featured guest. So with that, guys, we will go ahead and tune off. Have a great rest of the weekend, guys. And we will catch you next Friday in the Independent Investor live stream. Be well, be healthy, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks, guys.